Hello, I'm Ron Bailey from BibleBase.com, and this is the fourth of a series of mini tutorials on the online resource, the Blue Letter Bible. In this fourth tutorial, I want to finish off some aspects of the way in which you can use a search on Strong's numbers to discover the way a word or an idea really works. I want to pursue an idea from Paul's letter to the Romans, chapter 6 and verse 6. This is what Paul has to say. Knowing this, that our old man is crucified with him, that the body of sin might be destroyed, that henceforth we should not serve sin. Now, what does that mean? What does this word destroyed mean in this particular context? Well, we've seen before that this little section here of icons leads us to other parts of the online Bible. What I want is this C, which stands for commentaries and the Greek Hebrew lexicon. I click that. And it gives me this drop-down box in which we have all the individual words in English from the King James Version, their corresponding Strong's numbers, and then the root form in the Greek. We won't go into that just at this point. The word I'm looking for, of course, is here, that it might be destroyed. If I click on the Strong's number, we've seen what happens. This will take us through to the lexicon result. And here I have the word katargeo, and here I have a description, a definition of what that word means, and here a follow-on in theogrim. But suppose I want to find out how Paul uses this particular word. Here's a way of doing it. If I simply copy this number, or you can remember it if you've got a better memory than I have, G2673. If I copy that, simply go back to the beginning where we were, enter that Strong's number here, and then use this option to limit the search. I'm not going to search on the whole Bible. In fact, I'm not even going to search on the New Testament. I want to search on Paul's letters, the Pauline epistles. This is going to limit our search. I can now search, and now what I have is every time that Paul has used that word. And I begin to discover, looking here at Romans chapter 3 and verse 3, that the first time Paul used it, it's been translated without effect. The second time, it's translated made void. The third time, of non-effect. The fourth time, destroyed. The fifth time, loosed. If we click our Strong's, you'll see the significance. 2673, here's the word, without effect, making void. When you have this kind of thing, 2673 and 2673, it's actually indicating that the whole of that little phrase is the English translation of the one Greek word. Non-effect, there in chapter 4, verse 14. Destroyed here in Romans 6 and verse 6. In Romans 7 and verse 2. Loosed from the husband. And in Romans 7 and verse 6. Delivered. So you can see there really is a very wide way of translating this particular word. If I just click on this as a quick way of getting back to katargeo, I'm not going to go into any detail, but I'll just explain something about this word, which is really very significant. The word katargeo is actually made up of 3 Greek words, and you can actually trace these through, if you wanted to, by using these roots. That one, G2596, is almost certainly the kata part of the word. There it is, kata. And that tells you that technically it means according to, or sometimes down. But when it's linked to another word, it often means thoroughly, right down to the very bottom of something. In fact, this word here, argeo, is this word, argeo, and it means to be idle, inactive, to linger or delay. In fact, this itself is two words. If this was an E, this would be ergeo, and ergeo would mean to work. If you put an A in front of it, you cancel out, so it becomes not work. So this means to not work. Something is idle, it's redundant, it no longer operates. If we go back to our katargeo, we find that there's our argeo word, which means something which no longer works, which is redundant, which is derelict, it's lying idle. But we also have the word kata in front of it, which means thoroughly. So katargeo actually means to make something thoroughly non-working, to neutralize it, to not to eliminate it in the sense of annihilating it so that it no longer exists, but to render it absolutely helpless. It's a very powerful search thing to be able to trace the way that John uses the word light or Paul uses these different words, and then to get all the words together from the English versions and get a comprehensive sense of what that word really means. I'll see you the next time.